Hi, my name is Bahumi Mhlongo, and I've just attended the Deep Experience. It was my first time, and I've been to the ministry, quite a number of times, and it's honestly nothing like I've ever experienced here or ever, really. My experience at the Deep it's not what I expected, but it was everything I needed. It was exactly that. It was super, super deep. I think I really got to come into being, just to truly just release and be my full self in the presence of God. And man, did he show up. It was a beautiful experience. I think it's a retreat that is much needed in everyone's spiritual journey. You really do dig deep. It's very emotional, but it's also very just liberating. And I really got to meet some awesome people. I mean, the fact that I came by myself and, without like a group of friends, had me, whenever we could, engaging with people I've never spoken to, let alone ever met, people from different countries. I met a new friend. And I definitely think I've always known that, the Holy Spirit was my friend, but like, I think our relationship and our friendship definitely grew a lot deeper at this time round. So yeah, exciting. So the baptism of the Holy Spirit, I think that's the experience I did not anticipate to turn out the way that it did. I don't know what to think, but I know that I was overthinking. I'd always overthought, my spiritual experiences. It would be very difficult for me to really just shut my mind and really just be. And I think apostles, journeying us into it and explaining, and getting us into that mode really allowed for me to experience the Holy Spirit as the way that I did. I really can't explain it, but it definitely was different to many experiences that I've had. I can't even think about how I was. Like I just was, and then the utterances just started coming. And it was just beautiful. And then obviously, with when I was done with my experience, seeing everyone else just be so immersed, you really, I don't know, it felt like this. Everything felt really connected. You really felt like the Holy Spirit really is there, it was great. So my entire experience here actually is kind of linked to that. I really never knew how to be a child of God, so to speak. I think that's how I was always just like in my mind. I was even like, how am I vulnerable with the Lord? How do I really have a connection with the Lord and really hear Him? And so my entire experience here, even leading up to the baptism, was me I honestly feel as though the Holy Spirit was just lifting off all of these heavy weights, from the many lessons that we'd receive and us going to the altar and leaving everything at the altar, and then to the very last activity, so to speak, which was the baptism. I think I really not just felt, but really believed that I was a child of God. And I think my experience, of the baptism and then afterwards was just that exhilarating excitement. I couldn't help myself. I actually had to try to contain myself so I don't just start swimming up and down the pool and, everyone thinks I'm crazy. But I really was. And I think I really, really am crazy for the Lord now. Like, I knew Him, but now I realized that I didn't know Him as much as I do now. And it's just a freeing feeling to know that you can be yourself, with the Lord. I was just super excited to have that experience. So I couldn't contain myself. Aww, I'm not gonna cry. Apostle, thank you. Just thank you. Thank you for letting the Lord use you. Just thank you. Thank you for being a great father to this ministry. Thank you for empowering us. I'm just really grateful. I'm just really grateful. If I could, I would. If I would even gather the courage to, I would just embrace him and just hug him, you know? Yeah. He feels very paternal as well. So I know that he's, apostolic, and I definitely honor that. But there's just something very homey about his presence and, the Holy Spirit's presence here. So I'm just grateful. Not touched me, just was interesting. I think one of my favorite sermons during the deep, well, there was two actually. One was by Pastor Deborah, and that was the inner healing one. And I think it was very important for all of us to really heal internally so that we don't walk around wounded. That was a very releasing sermon. And then one extremely interesting and educational sermon that we received was by Apostle, and that was the one on sex and intimacy. I honestly, it was probably one of my favorite sermons on the topic. And it's such according to the world and many, religious groups, it's quite a taboo topic, but the way that he put it made you really honor the idea of sex according to God, and I think it's a top, it's a must watch. I'll tell you that much. It's a must watch, and it's very informative, so yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. And he's also very entertaining in his telling of it. He's very entertaining. He's not a boring apostle at all. I'm here for it. I'm so here for it. He's so cool in the most honorable way, but he's so cool. Yeah. People should definitely come to SOC because, man, the manifestation of the Holy Spirit in this place is just, it's thick. He really is thick. It's amazing. There's great freedom. If you saw videos of the deep, you'll see I was free enough to take off my weave. I told you, I wasn't playing games. I was just my whole self. Yeah. Still am, even though with the weave, but it's totally fine. There's just great freedom. The kids are free. Everyone, you're just free to be yourself, and you present yourself, at the feet of God, and, you let him do the change in you, through the ministering, through the singing, just through the entire environment, man. Everyone is just so beautiful. The staff is friendly. But there really is a great move of God here from the people and just, in his presence. Yeah, man. You just don't want to leave. I have to go home. But it's fine. God's going to come with me. Cool. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would definitely come to the deep again. I'm actually already planning a trip next time with my mother. So, March, we're going deeper. Yeah.